lesson. We pray that we'll understand everything and that you go ahead of us. We pray for a good network connection and that we shall be successful in everything. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. And welcome to today's session.
This was the teacher who was chasing people out last lesson. Remember.
Hello. Joel.
Out.
Please, as you come in, make sure that your microphone is muted, girls. And please try to behave yourself to avoid inconveniences. Because if your mic turns on and you're in a noisy place, we have no choice other than get you to the waiting room in.
Okay, girls. Last week we looked at an important element where we looked at performance factors affecting performance. I have to inform you that your test is under development. Everything we have taught will be set, so it depends on you. You make sure you read widely, broadly. Don't simply rely on the prototype you have. So having looked at the factors affecting performance, we discussed a number of them, and we got great questions coming in where some people were interested in getting to know about diet and how to reduce their weight, to cut weight. But for today, we're going to be able to learn, okay? We're going to be able to learn about foods and then the nutritions. I hope we're able to see my screen clearly. Yes?
Yeah, the screen is clear.
Okay, so when each time we talk about foods and then nutrition, of course, we'll get down to understand.
Yes, teacher, we can.
Okay, so we'll get to look at what nutrition is, because when we are dealing with when we deal with sports nutrition, this is an important area, by the way, girls, that even when you grow, if you want to take on this course, it is a course that is done in the universities dealing with sports nutrition. So don't take FN for granted. You don't have to take FN for granted, because we are looking at an important area. Now, every active participant needs to eat well because we need all that energy to help us perform, okay? And we need to have a proper diet if we are going to try and prevent some health-related conditions. But when we talk about eating well, having a proper diet to prevent health-related conditions, of course, here we are looking at sports performance, but at the same time, we are also looking at our normal health, and we'll look at the different kinds of foods that we need to have in order for us to perform. So here, we're going to give ourselves a few minutes. We might not go into breakout rooms. On such a bet, you can help select someone to read us this activity 8.4.
Charity, your hand is up.
Yes. Activity 8.4, understanding dietary needs in 6 groups, assigned each of them one class of nutrients and let them discuss and come up with the meaning of the food class assigned to them, suggest sources of such nutrients from the foods they eat from their locality, state the importance of the nutrient to an exercising person, describe the body dietary needs in terms of energy, growth and repair of cells, discuss the dietary needs for physically active individuals, and justifying why athletes need special dietary recommendations, explain the different energy needs of different categories of people.
Okay, we are going to go step by step, okay? We're going to go step by step here because the first one we're looking at, we're going to discuss and come up with the meaning of food classes. Of course, when we talk about the food classes, we are looking at the different foods that are classified under a balanced diet. Okay. I don't know, Mr. Bed, do you have anything you can add on that before we go down and we discuss?
I don't know what happened to the breakup rooms. Is Bruno here?
No, Bruno is not with us, and but we are the ones now in. You're using a phone, eh?
I'm using my laptop, but I don't see it. Maybe because maybe you give me the host right side that I can see that breakout rooms.
No, since you're a co-host, you're able to see the breakout rooms. You go to, there are those 3 dots, eh?
Unfortunately, start focus mode.
But we can go on and we can still discuss here. I don't know if.
Okay, because I thought that probably if they discuss in 10 minutes, the different groups, and then we come back here to make more.
No, we shall just give each one at least 3 minutes to do research. When we take them to groups, sometimes some people don't discuss and they only come and contribute from, they simply benefit from others. Eh? Okay, but what I wanted to say is that the food classes, eh? The food,
okay.
There's someone.
Let's do this. From what you have seen, guys, we are supposed to discuss and come up with the meaning of food classes. So when you look at the foods, of course, in your localities, here we are talking about the foods which are in your localities. We are focusing on mainly the foods which are in our communities. So want you to look at the the different classes. Now, from your nutrition, which you learned in science in primary, I'm sure you have some clue about the classes of foods. Now, some foods are for energy. Those are the carbohydrates. And then some foods are for resistance to diseases. They are body building foods. Those are what we call the protein. And then we also have what we call vitamin containing foods and mineral salt. So we want you to categorize them. We want you to classify them. That will give a meaning of foods. Now,
Yes.
once
If we
you
can
do
handle
that,
number one first.
yes. So we're going to first handle number one. So in your groups, can we categorize?
I think we go in the video right now. We have 3 minutes. Let's give them 5.
The different foods that we have.
Girls, you have
so
5
how many?
minutes.
We are not in your sitting room. Yes,
no, we're not using
we are not in your
breakout
sitting
rooms.
room
No.
to monitor you, but we believe that you are doing work.
Such a bet we have nothing to do. We can't continue begging people to mute their microphones. Kindly you handle.
Okay, so if your microphone is on, I'm going to put you in the waiting room. And I hope you'll explain to your parents as to why we put you in the waiting room. Not simply telling them we are removed. Because you're supposed to be researching. Where do you get the information? You get the information from your books, from Google.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, please.
Teacher, like, have you given us a class of nutrients that we are talking about, or we just talk about the food in general?
When you look at this question, we are saying discuss and come up with the meaning of food, food classes. And Mr. Chebet has actually mentioned some of them. This time we're not going to assign you since we are not taking you into breakout rooms. So do it as an individual research, come up with the meaning of food classes. Okay, so each one is assigned an open one.
Sure, could you repeat the food classes, please?
Now, I didn't want to bias your understanding, because this is supposed to be your research. When you come into the discussion, we harmonize. As in, what do you understand by the food classes? So for me, I just gave an example that maybe there are those which are carbohydrate, those which are protein, or then we classify them. And okay, that is what I'm trying to say. So can you classify them? Can you look at the foods that are there in your community? Which foods are there in your community? Some communities have fish. They eat, different types of foods. Others eat chicken. Others eat turkeys. So, I mean, can you classify them? Can you put them, assign classes to those different foods?
Okay.
So we have 2 more minutes. Okay, I hope we are done. Girls, I hope we're done with the research in the time we have. Can we now come back and try to present?
Mr. Nashmon.
Yes, sir.
I'm also suggesting that some of you whom we cannot pick, you can also use the chat room. You can use the chat room and put your answers there as well. To number 1.
Okay, there are hands already. Nama Gembe Marjorie.
Teacher, according to my research, they say that actually they first give us the definition of what food is, and they say food is any substance consumed to provide nutritional support for the body. And they say some of the food classes, nutrients, they give nutrients, and they give the explanation of nutrients as nutrients are chemicals found in the body that are essential to human growth and function. And there are 6 classes of nutrients, and these are namely carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, and water. That's what I researched about for number 1.
Okay, that is good. Can we have another one to submit?
Chiravo Hope Eunice.
Yeah, I also got the same things as Marjorie, because I tried to look for the definition of food class, because just giving me examples on how they're important to the body.
Okay.
Okay, Milt.
So
have another.
Yes, let's have like
hand.
6, and then we try to harmonize.
Okay, we have Atukunda Vanessa, followed by Alema. Yes.
Teacher, for me, I got also the same as the last 2 speakers. The examples were carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, fats, and minerals. And then they said for carbohydrates, they provide energy. For proteins, they build the body.
I think that is Imelda. It is Imelda Milton.
I know my understanding. I forgot. Okay.
For proteins, they build the body, and then for vitamins, they fight diseases in the body and they keep it healthy. That's what I got.
Okay, I know you've gone into the details, but thank you so much. Then we had Alema.
No. I think I was able to maybe get a definition of food classes, and I said that food classes are different classes of nutrients. Then under the examples, I gave proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, water, minerals. Then, and I also got a definition of food as a nutritious substance that people, animals eat or drink that will help them to maintain their life and growth. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. I think, Mr. Chebet, when we look at everything that the girls are presenting, we realize that they are coming up with different food classes, and they are looking at carbohydrates. They are looking at proteins. They are including fats among the class. Then talked about I think, have they mentioned water? Because we looked at vitamins, proteins, carbohydrates, and fats as food classes.
Yes. So now apparently we have 6 classes which you have identified. I think they have now identified 6 classes. Unless there is something different. I see Awadi, for your hand is up. Do you have something different?
I wanted to present what I found.
Wanted to
present what I found.
On number 1.
Yes.
On number 1. Yes.
Yes.
You want to use to share the screen?
No, I'm just going to tell you what I found.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I found the different classes as carbohydrates, which give energy, fats, proteins that build.
Okay, we are just classifying.
Organs. Yes.
Don't go to number 2.
Minerals, water, and fibers. Then I also found out that if your body lacks these, you can get a deficiency.
Okay, thank you so much, our D4. So we all agree that we have six classes of foods that we've identified. Mr. Chebet, from the chart,
okay. Yes.
from the chart, we have the first one. The first one here from Mario, I think says, good afternoon, sir. I can't talk since my computer. That's okay. Does not have a microphone, but I really want to contribute. I made last week's presentation and I want to present it. Okay, Rio, that last week's presentation, we completed the sessions last week, unless we have one for today. Then
yes.
Daniela, as we go on, will be able to give you the response to the question about the natural products one can take. Then Nachi Yimba says food classes are nutrients that help the body to build itself and maintain the body health. That is from Nachi Yimba Phoebe. And then Abasa Jolene says food classes are groups of different nutrients according to their observable features and health benefits. And I think Gwen Chilena says, teacher, are dietary fibers as food classes? I think that has been simplified and addressed. Our default did mention the fibers.
Oh,
then,
yeah.
Yes, then
yeah, maybe just to, you know, sometimes when we are giving the classes of food, there is actually what we call a roughage.
Yes.
A dietary fiber. So what it basically means is it is just a portion of the plant food that cannot be broken down completely.
We shall actually see how it comes. We shall actually see how it comes in when it comes to healthy living.
Yes.
Then Birunji brings in a good comment here, and she says, food classes are the 7 major nutrients, which include carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, minerals, fats, fiber, and water. Of course, that makes it 7, fiber and water. And she says they can be categorized as either macronutrients. That is very interesting. We are going to look at that. Macronutrients, which means needed in relatively large amounts, or micronutrients, which means they are needed in smaller amounts. Okay, that is from the charts. We shall keep on reading others from the charts. But I hope, girls, you're noting down. We've identified the food classes, okay? Please develop these notes. We've defined what food classes are. And then we've identified the food classes that we have. Mr. Chebet, anything before we move on to
I see Charity's hand is up. Please, girls, when you submit, or if you don't have any question, you lower down your hand. Charity, do you have any question?
Yes, I want to ask that what is the definition of food class? I didn't get it.
Okay, Charity, has your microphone been on? Because we have identified the 6 and someone has even added a dietary fiber. So the classes, when we are talking about the classes, we classify the foods that you have in your homes according to the nutrient provision. Okay, so if you're eating mayune, or if you're eating cassava, which nutrient are you targeting? Okay, or if you're eating watermelon, which nutrients are you getting? So we've classified them into 6, and somebody even added dietary fiber. So we said from your discussions, we said there are carbohydrates, there are proteins, there are fats and lipids. Then we have mineral salts, we have vitamins, and we have water. So I hope that is clear.
Yes, and she was asking for a redefinition of a food class. I would like to ask one of the girls in class to re-echo what we mean by a food class. Anyone
And the
can
ones
give
whose
us a
hands are up,
definition?
I don't know what there are quite
Lina.
many whose hands are up.
Lina?
I have a question.
Yes.
On number 1, it says discuss and come up with the meaning of the food class assigned. So since we haven't discussed in groups, are we supposed to give the meaning of all 7 food classes or just the meaning of the word food class?
Okay, what have you done, you yourself, in your research? Yes,
I read the definition of food class and the examples.
So what's the definition of the food class?
I found that food classes are the 7 major classes of nutrients that help in the body's growth and development.
Okay, so you've given the meaning of a food class. That is very good.
Yes.
And you have also assigned the food
Identified.
classes. You have identified them.
Yes.
Mm.
I hope the person who asked for the definition, you now have it.
Yes, Lena has actually answered that question.
Yes, we're going to move to the second one because we need to have this issue completed. So one person identified, grouped actually the food classes when she brought out what we call the macro nutrients and the micro nutrients. Okay, so that is a general classification. I don't know, there is someone who is speaking in the microphone and interrupting.
Manuela, Katrina, I'm going to put you in the waiting room. Katrina, are you there? Okay, let me put her in the waiting room.
Okay, so when we talk about the macro, it is clear these are what we need in large quantities. During your free time, I want you to go and research about the examples of these macro minerals. We've mentioned some of them. We've talked about carbohydrates. We're looking at potassium, the other minerals which are needed, nutrients needed for us. Then we have the micro that are needed in smaller quantities. So those are the 2 major groups of nutrients or food classes. Then the smaller the segments we talked about: carbohydrates, fats, proteins, minerals, water, the fibers, and all the roughages. All those fall under each of these, so you need to split them. Now we move on to the second one, where we are looking at suggest sources of such nutrients from the foods they eat. Okay, now we're going to go step by step, because we have the first one, we talked about carbohydrates. 2, we have fats. I hope, girls, you can make a table, just make a table. On in one column 1, you have the nutrients. Okay, the nutrients. In column 2, we'll have the sources of food, the foods from which we get these nutrients. Then the first one in column 1, we are looking at the carbohydrates. Then we look at proteins. We'll look at fats. We look at water. We look at fibers. Then we can have minerals. Remember, how we eat and what we eat will influence our level of activity. So we move on. Look at carbohydrates. What are some of the sources of these nutrients from the foods that give us these carbohydrates?
And let's think about the foods which are in our communities. Let's not bring the American and Japanese food, unless you're an American.
Someone in the chat. Someone in the chat. Let me just look out in the chat. Mr. Jibe, are you able to see the chat? Huh?
Yeah, but I don't have much on the chat. So please, you can utilize the chat. You can type. Okay. One person.
Okay, from the chat. From the chat. Carbohydrates. Someone says from sugar cane.
Okay. Yeah.
Someone says from sugar cane. Bread. Honey. Okay. Yogurt. That is from Nachimuli.
Okay. Charity simply said cassava. I don't know where this cassava belongs. Please, when you use the chat, please be specific. Don't just type the food. But since we are talking about carbohydrate, probably this is what she means.
Then Ashley says rice, posho, matoke, yams, and cassava. Any other hands you see, Mr. Chebet? Our default says
and get some.
Some of the common foods include beans, milk, bananas, cassava, beetroot, potatoes, and many more.
Excuse me, teacher.
I don't know. Our default, yes.
I thought beans give us proteins.
And that's why I was now coming to ask our default, because we are looking at the sources of these nutrients of carbohydrates. So our default, how do beans give us carbohydrates?
Teacher, beans are not in that list, sorry. Those are for carbohydrates, but beans are not. Beans are not supposed to be that.
Okay, I hope we are writing down, girls. Okay, then proteins. We move on to proteins.
Excuse me, teacher.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Teacher, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I can barely hear, like it's raining outside, I cannot hear. As a question, like if you can increase your volume.
So probably you can also increase your volume, the volume on your gadget. Yeah, because that is an environmental factor which we have less control. Okay, Laura
last week.
Nadongo says sources of proteins are beans, soya beans, cowpeas, and groundnuts.
Okay. I see some hands here. It's here from Namanda Sophia.
Sorry, teacher, I have a question.
Please
Yes,
ask.
related.
If these questions were in an activity of integration, would you have to write a full essay like that kind of thing, or you have to like answer number 1, answer number 2, answer number 3, answer?
I will request that when we reach the activity of integration, I think we'll be able to see what can be done.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Second hand, I know many people are running to the chat. Nalule.
Yes, Nalule.
Sources of proteins are beans, chicken, and eggs.
Okay, thank you. Beans, chicken.
And Thelma is saying that milk, fish, and meat.
Okay.
Any other one that is unique?
Namuli Unia.
Sources of proteins include eggs, fish, beans, milk, salmon, tuna, shrimp, peas, gut, and cheese.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
I hope you tell us those other ones which we don't know.
Actually, when she mentioned the tuna and salmon, those are specific fish types, but called.
Okay.
So that is fish.
That is fish, yes.
Yes.
Okay, now we want to move on to the next fats. We quickly, let's get around 4. We complete the minerals. The rest will have research being done by the girls. Okay, fats. Chirabo Hope.
Teacher, coconut oil.
Coconut oil. Okay, thank you. We have Adeke Faith.
For fats and others, the sources are cheese, dark chocolate. Yes, the fats, the sources of fats. We have cheese, dark chocolate, all eggs and nuts.
Okay, thank you. Then we can come to Joy Mary.
Teacher, for me, I was just asking a question. They say that is it avocado? I'm asking if avocado is like a natural fat.
What do you think,
Joy?
I think it is, but I'm not very sure.
Okay, I think you're right.
Because I think we can extract oil from avocado. We have avocado.
They actually say it is the only fruit that has oil.
Okay, thank you.
So we get the last one from Vivian Sandra Alema.
I think olive oil. I think, or olives maybe.
Okay, so we're talking about all oils, eh? Okay, thank you. Water.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, please.
I wanted to ask, where do roughages fall?
What is roughage?
Teacher, let me answer.
Roughage.
Okay.
They fall under fibers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, please.
Under fats, okay, according to my research, they gave me something like flax oil. I was asking what it means. What is meant by flax oil?
By what?
SP is flax. Okay, let me just spell it. I don't know how to pronounce it. You'll get confused. It is FLAXSSED oil.
FLA.
SSED oil.
Okay, what do you think? Because you did research.
Well, I think it's just like oil, any kind of oil, like coconut oil. Let's say it's also just like a kind of oil, but I don't know, and I don't understand what it is. I can't lie, I don't know what it is.
Okay, but when you do your research, you can still find out what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think
Because-
I've ever heard of flax seed oil. It is an extract actually. I've ever heard of it, but it's, we are talking about oil extracted from different plants, different. The most important thing is this is oil. So it depends on where the oil is extracted from. Like now we also have sunflower oil. So probably you can do more research about flax seed oil because it's a seed.
Yeah, it is actually extracted from the lean seeds. That's why it is yellowish in color. That's why we refer to it as the flax seed what? Flax seed oil.
Actually, it is yellowish in color. That's
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, please.
Can you also give fenugreek oil?
As long as they are oils, I think all oils here are sources of what? Of fat. Okay.
Yes, but now I want us also to mind about you see, in this curriculum, they focus so much on the local
yes.
available. So when you are giving examples, it will be very good to think about what is local available. Like if you told me simsim oil, sunflower oil, those ones are very common in our communities.
Okay, I think we can proceed, Mr. Chebet. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I also had that. Okay, someone told me that nuts also contain the natural fats. So I wanted to know if it is correct.
What do you think?
Well, I also think it's true, but I was not sure.
So we all agree with you.
Okay.
In fact,
Okay,
some
we
people
move on.
they use nut to they don't use these other oils they basically use nut oil to make sauce.
Okay, so we look at water. We're looking at water and hands up here. Yes, I see 6. Chirabo Pal, Hannah.
Fruits.
Okay, we have the fruits. Then we have Ndahura. Flora.
Teacher, what are omega fats?
What do you think?
I don't know.
Anyone who can help?
Well, at least she can also think through. What do you think?
Yeah. You can Google. I mean.
Yes, for this, I request that we can Google that as we proceed with the other part of the discussion.
Yeah.
Sources of, what are the sources of water as a nutrient? Someone has talked about fruits. So do we say that? Yes, please.
Teacher, can I give some other answers?
Pardon?
Teacher, can I
How
give?
are fruit sources of water?
Teacher, can I answer her?
Okay, please.
Yes.
Teacher, I saw on the internet that some fruits like maybe bananas, watermelon, and others are mostly contained with water. Like bananas are 74% water, so they are a source of water.
Teacher, can I also add a contribution? It is also like from fruits you can get water, because even in coconuts, there are some coconuts where you can get water. Like, okay, you open it and then there is something like water. So you can also get water from fruits. And also what she said about watermelons, yes, I also searched and I said it was almost 75% of water.
Actually, we all agree that when you're eating foods, sometimes we get water from the foods that we eat. And most of this water comes through the process of what? Of metabolism. There is that water formation. So the foods we eat are sources of water. So
Okay,
in the chat, someone has mentioned, yes, Mr. Chebet.
Yes, well, Akira is saying, okay, watermelon, tomatoes, soup, coconut, cabbage. Yeah.
Okay, and the
Excuse me,
normal,
teacher?
yes, please.
I think also matoke is a source of water because I've heard people say when you eat matoke, you're just basically, it's like as if you're taking water, but you're eating it. So I also think matoke is a source of water.
Because we've said from what we eat, we also get water. Okay.
So you can
So I
imagine
think,
there are people who imagine, they say that, for me, I don't take water. But you're eating foods which contain a lot of water actually, because your body has to have some water. There is no way you can say that your body does not take in any water because you simply don't drink the water in the glass.
Okay, so now we look at the fibers. I think we've identified the different sources of water as a nutrient. We've looked at milk, tea, talked about fruits, then foods such as matoke. Okay, then we look at the fibers.
Minerals, huh? Mineral salts, have we?
Okay, let's look at the minerals. Minerals and the hands available. We have Nanyanzi Hosanna.
Yes, teacher. Here in my research, this is what I got on sources of mineral salts. I got eggs, beans, cocoa, avocados, shellfish, and nuts and seeds. Those are my.
Thank you, Vivian Sandra Alema. She has lowered her hand. Oh, she's not speaking. Okay, we have Tamali Tendo.
Teacher, sources of minerals. We can have meat, we have cereals, and we have nuts also.
Okay, thank you. Howard for?
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, please.
Teacher,
when they ask us to give examples or sources of minerals, are they just telling us to give on everything general for the proteins, carbohydrates, because they're all minerals? No, they're nutrients. Wait.
Because our question is open. What are the sources of these this nutrient we call a mineral? So it is an open one, okay? However, as you do your research, I want you to try and also go down and be specific. When you talk about this mineral, so which mineral will give us, which food will give us which mineral, okay? For example, when we talk about minerals, we are looking at minerals such as iodine, we're looking at minerals such as iron, minerals such as chromium, minerals like sodium, okay? Now,
Can you count salt as a mineral that they want?
What do you think?
What is in the salt? What's in the salt?
Iodine.
Yes. So we are talking about those particular minerals, yeah? Like salt has iodine, it has sodium.
Okay. And part of calcium.
Yes.
How about silverfish?
What do you think? So that what we see, we come back to the specifics as you read. Okay, I will upload some documents for you people to be able to read, because remember, even the test is going to have questions from these particular things we've been covering. So go down. if we're looking at a mineral, a macro mineral, okay, such as calcium, what are the sources of calcium? In which foods do we get calcium? When we talk about potassium, from which foods do we get potassium? That is what you need to have on your fingertips. Okay. So I think, Mr. Chibet, we are done with the minerals.
Yeah, now we can talk about vitamins. I think vitamins there also.
The vitamins. What are the sources of vitamins?
Okay. Hosanna's hand is up.
Yes, Chair, here in my research, for fibers, I got whole grains, fresh fruits, vegetables, legumes, and nuts.
Okay, good. Then there is margarine. Margarine, Chakonya. Margarine, you can unmute. Okay, if margarine is not there, there is Alema.
For sources of vitamins, I got under vitamin A, I got eggs, milk, carrots, sweet potatoes. Under vitamin C, I got oranges, strawberries, tomatoes, red and green bell peppers. Then under vitamin E, I got avocados, nuts, seeds, spinach. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, thank you. Actually, she has broken down the minerals there, where we have the vitamins. When we talk about vitamin A, D, E, and vitamin K. I think what the girls also need to know is that when we talk about the vitamins A, D, E, and K, these also fall under the fat solubles. We can get them from the fat solubles. Then we also have those vitamins that we will get from what we call the water solubles, and that is vitamin B complex. Then we'll have vitamin C. Now all those are under the water solubles. We'll be able to upload some document for you to read further.
Yeah, I think can be categorized. They can be categorized into two depending on, like what Mr. Nashmola said, there are those which are fat soluble. And that is ADEK.
Yes.
So somebody called here ADEK. ADEK. And then the water soluble, those are the B complex and vitamin C. Okay, Nadong also is saying sources of vitamin: pumpkins, spinach, liver, carrots, fish, meat, watermelon, and oranges. Then Namanda is also saying oranges, strawberries, mangoes, passion fruits, carrots, pineapples, tomatoes. So I think she's bringing out all the fruits. Okay.
Okay, so in these few minutes, we're going to handle this very last one, which is part 3, but we have to know that it is always important that we take food as a priority, because it influences, it affects us in during the times of physical activities, even during the times when we are not involved in physical activities. But what we eat also affects our health. So we've looked at all the different nutrients here, the carbohydrates, the proteins. It is important that each one of us gets to know which one do we need most when we are preparing for physical exercise, because there are nutrients we must eat before involving in a physical activity and even after a physical activity. But we want to look at part 3. That is the last one in the few minutes we have. where we want to state the importance of the nutrients to an exercising person. This is the last one we are going to handle. And those who have questions concerning what do I need to eat in order to cut weight and the rest, please, let's engage in the Google chat. And I think there is one person who has my contact. You can also get my contact from your parents. We discuss through and we see, because it is part of nutrition. Okay, the importance of nutrients to an exercising person. We use 4 minutes.
So let's see whose hand is up. Chirabo, Hannah.
Nutrients like proteins help in muscle repair, like after an exercise.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, in case of an injury. Who else is here? Rukia. Rukia, are you there?
If she delays, we can move on with the next person.
Okay. Let's see. Majorin is also, Majorin's hand has been up persistently, but she seems not to be there. She's not in class.
Yeah, someone is coming in because the first person has told us that carbohydrates are fuels for muscle art repair, contraction and contractions.
Okay, that's good.
And there's from the chat, I think Nabanja has something in the chat as you choose someone to speak.
Okay. Daniela, are you saying something?
Yes, teacher. Proteins provide the body with energy during exercising.
Proteins? Do proteins give energy?
Yes, they give the body energy during exercise.
Okay, during exercise, the body uses mainly carbohydrates,
which is stored already.
Yes, the one which is already stored. So I think you need to note that that proteins are for something else. During exercise, there is carbohydrate which is already stored in the body, and also fats.
So that is the same with Nabanja, what they're saying, the sources of energy. Anyone else?
Let me see, Birunji. Has Birunji said something?
Proteins help in bodybuilding and growth.
Okay, bodybuilding and growth.
Okay, thank you. I hope, girls, you're taking notes. It is from these things we are going to ask questions. Bodybuilding, we have 3 minutes.
Okay, people whose hands are up. Let me see who has not talked and the hand is up. You lower down your hand when you've not when you've talked. Queen Esther. Queen Esther.
Esther, are you there? We can move on to the next person.
Okay, girls, what about vitamins and proteins and water?
Actually, there is a question from Charity. Do proteins help in repairing torn out muscles and tissues? Yes, because proteins play an important role in muscle growth and the repair of body tissues.
Yes, that's very important.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
because an athlete actually needs these different nutrients. And so is even you who is at home there, because you're doing work also. You move from place to place. You're doing exercise also. So an exercising person is not simply the person who is running but also you walks to the market, you're doing exercise, or even walking in the garden, or walking from Kobe to the classroom. So we need these nutrients. And like we have said, it is important that you understand what are these nutrients and what do they do to the body of an exercising person. And whatever you're eating also, you need to classify. So as you go for lunch, in fact, when you go for lunch, it is important you classify. You look at the foods which have been served at the table and classify them and say, okay, this is a carbohydrate, this is a protein, this is a mineral giving food, that kind of thing. Okay. Somebody's asking that, can't you say water quenches thirst of an exercising person? Okay. Yes, water is good for the body, for the functioning of the body. By the time you become thirsty, then just know that you are dehydrated. It's like the body is now demanding for water by force. So it creates an environment where you need water like thirst. So when you become thirsty, you just know that you become dehydrated. Yes, water is important for the functioning of the body. The metabolic processes in the body requires water. Actually, an athlete needs a lot of water. And some of this water can be taken before, during, and even after. What matters is how much water are you taking.
Actually, Mr. Chibet, I want us to close, but girls need to know, for those who are worried about their because we are growing fat. I think the most important is don't be stressed because you're growing fat. Okay, what you have to be concerned about is how you're working out to try and keep your body healthy. Now there are certain foods. Are you able to get me?
Yes.
Yeah, there are particular foods. You see, not all foods are good for us. We need to have discipline as we eat these foods. I know many of us go for fatty stuff all the time. You only want fatty stuff. While fats are very important in exercising. In a person who does exercises, excessive fats will cause us issues. And I know we might have next week if all goes well, but we need to go in the details and get to understand what should I eat. A person who is trying to work on healthy discipline, you're having a health diet, you need to have more the roughages in your meal, because they help to control how much you're going to eat and be able to control reduce the sugary things you tend to eat. I know many of us, like, if every time we talk about something what we want to drink, we want a soda. I don't know which type of soda. When you serve tea, you want to put in a lot of sugar. That is going to affect our health, because there are certain illnesses that are associated with too much sugar. Then when you overeat fats, I know sometimes we sit down there and we have nothing to do, so our body demands we want to eat all the time, but we need also to control what we eat. As you exercise, just imagine you're working on your body, you're trying to reduce your size, and you only run for 10 minutes around the facility. 10 minutes, you even take 2 laps for each lap is 5 minutes. So 10 minutes, you've run only two laps, and immediately you finish after sweating, you sit down, and on one plate you have some pork. I'm sorry for those who are Muslims, you're eating pork, fatty stuff. In other words, you're simply adding in more than you even reduced. So you need to have a discipline when it comes to feeding. And 2, make use of this information that we are studying here to help us to have a healthy living and a healthy lifestyle. Milton, over to you. One word and then we close.
Okay, thank you very much. I think our time is fast spent, but probably next week, girls, those who will be around, make sure that you come early. I think we shall get one sports nutritionist, a nutritionist, to answer some of your questions.
Yes.
And also for you to have a feel. I think we can link up